Good day to you, gents, gals, and non-binary pals of the internet, and welcome back to the D20 show. In today's episode, we will take a look at one of the Haldemar's handy Handbook of Heroism teasers. You see, I am writing a Mystara world book slash supplement slash, whatever the hell else. Told from the perspective, well, that's a lie. It's a book that carries the name of Haldemar of Haken, the renowned explorer who fought the Heldanic Order, mapped out parts of Davania, did all that cool stuff, and without any, further ado, I should probably just get to the damn point. That's what you're here for. So, welcome to the first of the Haldemar's Handy Handbook of Heroism teasers. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Heldann Freeholds, the home of everybody's favorite wannabe Teutonic Knights. That's a lie and I know it, but shut up. For the purposes of today's video, I will be reading verbatim from the gazetteer chapter of Haldemar's Handy Handbook. That way it'll be a lot more akin to what you will actually find in the book. If there are any changes made in the process of writing the book, hey, you'll know if you compare the text to the video. I'll also add a couple of snippets of my own opinions here and there, so I will probably just mention them off topic, and as well as there will be visual aids to help you understand just what we're dealing with here. And now that we're clear with that, let's get started with this clusterfuck of a nation. So, the Heldann Freeholds are a theocratic freeholds, well, duh. Their capital is Freiburg. The languages spoken in the region are Heldann and Hattian, so basically Old Norse and German, and the area is approximately 20,000 square miles in size. I think that's 64,000, I don't know the exact mileage to kilometerage. I don't know, I use metric system, but in this case miles and metrics, they just don't go well. Anyway. In the far north of the known world is the rough and unforgiving land of Heldann. The people here are fair-skinned and fiercely independent people to a point where they are out of control. The land is fought over by the freeholders, who just wish to be left alone, and the Heldanic Order. The Order's sacred purpose is to defeat the wizard empire of Alphasia and bring victory in the name of their glorious lady, the immortal Vanya. Now, I have players, this is off topic, I have players who have some pretty strong opinions about Vanya, as in, she's a bitch. It's subjective. Personally, I think Vanya is kind of cool, actually. She promotes victory, which is pretty nice. Her followers are basically paladins of an oath of victory. Unfortunately, that oath is extremely morally grey, because civilians can die to achieve victory. Don't protect the civilians if you can secure the victory, is all they're thinking. But, let's move on. The Heldann Freeholds do not have much information recorded on them. The Order keeps little to no track of history, and the Freeholders don't talk about it much. The Heldanic Order is, albeit poorly, trying to force the faith of Vanya onto the Freeholders, who wish to continue their worship of the immortals Frey and Freya, as well as the spewing Nuga. Off topic, the spewing Nuga is actually an alias, or an alias. It's an alias of the immortal of the seas known as Proteus. So that's a bit of a neat little factoid right there. The Freeholders who fight the Order have a slight terrain advantage, but the outcome is still looking bleak. The origins of the Heldanic Order can be traced to the Hattians. The Hattians are known for being xenophobic and having a strong martial tradition. Supposedly the Heldann Freeholds were once a free land south of Norwald, but at some point the Templars arrived and occupied the settlement of Freiburg. Since then they have had to fight the Freeholders as well as the Northmen of Ostland and the Sword of your Jarldoms, as well as the Raiders of Ethengar. The most feared possession of the Heldanic Order is the Warbirds, massive airships in the shape of eagles. Each warbird is outfitted with the greatest ballistae and catapults that the Order can field. The Warbirds are a fearsome opponent, and they have even been rumored to have gone to space. this is true. Off topic. This is actually true. Haldemar of Haken has to fight a warbird in space during the voyage of the Princess Ark. That was a cool thing to happen. Freiburg is the capital of Heldann, formerly known as Haldisval. The fortified settlement is under occupation by the Haldanic Order, but the freeholders within the walls do not mind the occupiers as long as they are left to their own devices, once again showing us that being anti-social is both a blessing and a curse. Altendorf, formerly Unvarhöfen, is the northernmost province and is held by the Haldanic Order. The invasion against Norwald is set to be launched from Altendorf when the time is right, but for now the paladins and clerics stationed there need to worry about the guerrilla strikes of the freeholder resistance. Grauenberg is the southernmost of the Haldanic cities and is a buffer against the hordes of Efengar, who raided the city long before its fall to the Haldanic Order when the city was still called Skoilgrim by the freeholders. The city is made up of short stone buildings surrounded by large walls. If the freeholders got Grauenberg, the order would prioritize its recapture. Hochstein, once known as Torgstal, is a deeply divided town where the freeholders and the Teutonic Knights clash often. The freeholders are forced into squalid slums, while the knights enjoy better living conditions and well-built city blocks. The town has no shortage of shows of prejudice, hate, and open violence. The freeholder resistance could take Hochstein if they had the numbers. And that wraps up all of the information that we actually have on the Heldann Freeholds. It's not a lot, but it could certainly be much less. I will link you to a Haldanic Order fan gazetteer that somebody wrote on the Vaults of Pandius, and you can check that out if you want more of that deep Haldanic lore. But this is what will be appearing in Haldemar's handy Handbook of Heroism. Now, without much further delay, let's move on to the outro so that I can not continue talking to the microphone and wearing out my voice by talking for 6 minutes in a row. What can I say? I haven't hydrated properly. And that wraps up our tour of the Heldann Freeholds. It is a rugged, cold and harsh land. So why would you ever want to play there? Well, I mean, it's always fun to kick in the Teutonic Knight's teeth. They could make exceptions to their weird policies and let in non-humans if you just followed them. Or if you just offered your services to get rid of a problem for them discreetly while they focus on their invasion of Norwald. Of course, there is the invasion of Norwald, which has huge adventure potential, and I mean the Heldann Freeholds do have their ups and downs. I personally think there's more ups than there are downs, but I mean, adventuring there could be fun. Maybe you could be Teutonic Knights trying to invade Norwald, or fighting the Vikings, or fighting the Ethengar hordes. It's all up in the air. But I thank you for joining me once again. I might release a table tech video later today. Yep, I'm reviving that series too. And but until then, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and do all the stuff that makes the algorithm happy. The more this channel grows, the more I can actually start putting effort into the videos. But until then, I thank you for joining me. I have been Viktor D20, the wizard of this cursed abode, and I bid you all a very fine one. Okay, well now the coughs are getting less bad, so maybe I'll keep doing the evil laugh at the end after all.